So today we're going to be talking about gift buying for autistic people. Whether you're buying for an autistic adult, an autistic teen or an autistic kid, the age doesn't really matter. It's more about, for us, receiving a present that we're going to enjoy, we're actually going to like, and we're actually going to use. So I would like to give you, especially if you are not autistic, if you're a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, you're buying, a friend buying for an autistic person, I'd like to give you some tips that will help you when you are thinking about the kind of present that you'd like to buy for the autistic person. Number one is ask them. So you may not have considered this, and it may be something that usually you don't do, but I would recommend actually asking the autistic person. You can either give some parameters in terms of money that you'd like to spend, or you can maybe ask them, can you name 2 things or 3 things that you would like. It doesn't have to be for Christmas, it can be for a birthday or something else, whatever. Just consider maybe actually asking the person. And why, I hear you ask, would I be asking the autistic person? And I will get to that at the end of these 3 points. So number 2 of my 3 tips on gift buying for an autistic person is, what are their interests? So if you don't know the autistic person very well, you may not know what their interests are. So interests for an autistic person are something that we're very passionate about, something that we enjoy doing, something that can help regulate our emotions, something that can, help to calm us. So for an autistic person, an interest can be something that we really hyper-focus on for a number of reasons. But like I said, it is generally like a hobby on steroids. It's an interest that we might hyper-focus on a lot, we might spend a lot of time, or it might be an interest for an autistic person that, might come and go. Especially for my autistic boys, I've seen them being interested in something and then they might just leave that, they might find another interest. I know as an autistic adult myself, I do have interests and I'll have more than one interest. So it's something, if you're not an autistic person, that is, you're neurotypical or you're holistic, if you are buying for an autistic person, these are the 3 things that I would like you to consider. Number 3 is think practical. So if you haven't asked them or you don't feel comfortable asking them, if you're not sure what their interests are, I would say number 3, think practical. Maybe they have done something, or you've bought them a present in the past, something that they've actually really enjoyed. Maybe you could buy something similar to that again, something that's practical, something that we can use. Practical gifts are good for a lot of autistic people. Many of us, like myself, we like to understand how things work, why they work. So, as I mentioned, if you don't, or if you haven't considered my 3 tips for gift buying for an autistic person, what might happen? We may appear a bit blunt or rude, and that's not our intention, that's just how it comes across. Receiving a present, unwrapping it, and just looking at it and wondering, are we going to use this? No, we're not going to use this, or what is this for, or I haven't seen this before, or that's not one of my interests. So you may also not receive a thank you. Please don't take this personally. Sometimes it just takes us a while to process the gift that's in front of us. Many of us have a slower processing speed, so we may just appear a bit blank and not really know what to say. So, and these, what I've mentioned then, they are all part of autistic traits. So a part of what I do as well is also raising awareness of autism and our traits. So yes, hopefully you will consider my 3 top tips. So number 1 is asking them. Number 2 is knowing what their interests are. And number 3, I guess if those 2 don't work or you haven't tried them, is thinking of a practical gift. Autistic people may get a little bit overwhelmed with lots of people. Many of us have sensory issues, so noise, lots of people talking, Christmas crackers cracking, chitter chatter, that kind of thing. You may find that a lot of autistic individuals will tend to retreat, or we might just find a little quiet place, like to have some space. And also many of us are sensitive to bright lights as well, or music that's being played loudly. So if you see an autistic loved one in a room or in a quiet space, it is more than likely that they just need to have a little bit of their own space and quiet time, which will help them regulate their body, their emotions, their behaviours, and then they'll calm down. Thank you for watching. I would really love if you could subscribe, and I'd really like to hear your comments. What presents have you bought before for an autistic person? Whether that's a friend or a loved one. How did they react? Was it what you expected? Or was it like what I've mentioned, that they really didn't know what to say? Thank you. Please subscribe. I'll be trying to set myself a little ADHD challenge and produce more videos regularly. Yes, so thank you. Bye.